I left Memphis after that. I left Memphis. I went back to Portland for a little bit. I went to Orlando. Orlando's pretty cool. Orlando was pretty cool. I got a dog when I was in Orlando. Anybody? Yeah, I had a dog. Guess what kind of dog I had? A golden retriever? Nope, that wasn't it. A lab? Nope. Huh? You guys are bad. Who said pit bull? Racist. No, I'm joking. It wasn't a pit. It wasn't. You guys, it was a Chihuahua. You guys were way off. It was a Chihuahua. He was a no. Stop guessing. You're wrong. I told you the answer. That's like if I was like in class and I was like C. You're like, I'm gonna try B. Let me get. I told you. So it was a Chihuahua. He's a Chihuahua Yorkie. He was super cute, man. He was super. Yep. He was. His name was Tank. He was 12 pounds. And the way I got him was this girl. She was like, hey, you want a dog? I was like, this is my chance. And it wasn't. She just left me. Single parent father. You know? I used to call him my son. I'm like, this is like my son. Then one day he started humping my leg, and I was like, never mind. You cannot be my son and my baby daddy. So I just stopped calling him my son. He'd be on the other side of the living room getting started, like, oh, snap, there's some new jeans, preacher? I ain't never seen no jeans like that in my life. Like, no, yes, they're new jeans, because you keep ruining them. So, but he was super cute, man. He was adorable. Everybody wanted to pet him. You know, one time I was walking him in my neighborhood, and this homeless dude, I didn't know he was homeless. He was on the cover. But he walks up, and he goes, that's a good-looking dog right there. I'm like, yeah, his name is Tank. He goes, yeah. I'm like, oh. Don't pet him. He doesn't like new people. If it's the new person tries to pet him, he's gonna bite you. He's like, no, trust me. I'm good with dogs. I said, I don't care how good you are with dogs, all right? Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. That's my, she like, I like this 4D experience. I'm gonna go ahead and yell out my part of the joke. But you're right. I mean, when I was writing the joke, I don't remember putting you in it, but I appreciate you ad-libbing right there. Your extra loud self. I was like, who gave you a microphone? I don't even understand. You the same one that knocked someone's iPhone down with your booty like, sorry, I gotta go to the bathroom. That ain't your dog. All right. So dogs have personalities like humans. You can't go up to a human like, hey, that's a good-looking human right there. I don't really like people. No, trust me. I'm good with people. You can't do that. He tries to pet him anyway. Bro, oh my gosh, your dog bit me. I said, I'm so sorry. I was trying to warn you. He doesn't like new people. He was like, I can't believe your dog bit me. I said, I'm sorry. He was like, give me $10. I was like, what? He's like, your dog bit me, give me $10. He said it in a way like, everybody knows if the dog bites you, it's $10. He was so confident. I was like, yeah, I forgot about that rule. I just gave him $10. He was like, thank you, brother. God bless. He just walks off. I was like, this man scammed me for $10? There's better ways to make money besides getting bit by dogs $10 at a time. How was work, baby? It was great. I made $115. 15? I didn't get fully bit by the last one. They gave me $5. He was so cute. People didn't think it was my dog. One lady thought I stole him. Yeah, I'm not gonna say what race she was because it doesn't matter that she was white. And she walked up to me, she was like, is that the dog that went missing yesterday? And I was like, no, it's my dog. She goes, are you sure? And I was like, yep, why would I steal the dog and lie about it, then be like the second time, you know what? I was lying, I did. I stole the dog and walked it in the same neighborhood I just stole it from. That's like robbing a bank. Put all the money in the bag. That's right. And let me open the savings real quick, all right? Here's my birth certificate. Y'all got a rewards program? I'm trying to build my credit up. If you guys can do that real quick. He's my dog. She goes, I'm sorry, he's so cute. And I'm like, I get it. He's like, he's super cute. Super cute, I get it. You want to pet him? Get her, Tank. He's my secret weapon. He was a secret weapon. He was so cool. I loved him, man. I remember people talking about dogs, like, this is my best friend. And I'm like, that's because you don't have any friends, you know? He was just annoying at first. Like, I had to pay $500 for him to stay in my apartment complex. I didn't pay it. I just convinced the apartment complex I was the one barking. But he was, he was expensive, and he was just, but then he became like my best friend for real. And I knew he was my best friend, one day when I was like, all my roommates were gone, I waited till they were gone because I was having like a bad day, and I started ugly crying, which is the only way to cry. No one looks sexy crying, And if you think someone looks sexy crying, then you need help, because that's weird. Very weird. If you at a funeral, yeah, get it out. Look at that face. Don't wipe it. Yeah, look at that face, so wet. I like them cheeks. That's weird, So I was crying, and I remember Tank, he ran over, and he got on his hind legs, and he started licking my tears. And yeah, it worked. I just stopped crying immediately. And it works. Any girl I've ever dated after that, if they start crying, I lick their tears. They just stop. I can't believe I'm in there, right? They're not happy. They're kind of confused, but they stop. They're like, are you licking my face right now? You stop, though. I just got fired. But come on, now. You stop, so I win. And yeah, I remember I was kind of sad because everything I did in Orlando, it was tailored towards comedy. Any job I had, any relationship, I always did it for comedy. And I was like, I'm not gonna make it as a comedian in Orlando, Florida. So I had to move to LA. So I saved up a bunch of money, and no matter how much money I saved up, LA's expensive. I wasn't gonna be able to take Tank initially. So I had to sit Tank down like a psycho, because that's what you do when you have a dog. You know what I mean? You kind of just talk to them like a human when you have them too long. And I was like, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go save up a bunch of money for like a couple months. I'm gonna ship you out, then you can get your own bed, even though he keep jumping in mine. And the whole time I'm talking to him, he like, when we going outside? Like he doesn't know. I can leave for 10 minutes and Tank's like, I thought you were dead, right? So, I talked to him, and I was like, it was kind of sad, because I was like, he doesn't realize I'm leaving for 2 months, and I broke down, started sexy crying, and I did. I knew it was sexy because he started humping my leg again, and I let him get it out. I was like, this is the last time. Get it out, my child. Go ahead. And I moved to LA in 2016, and I wasn't like homeless, but I was flirting with it. I was like, what's your name, homeless? And I found a place on Craigslist, Park La Brea, mistake, and I moved in. I had 5 roommates, 6 dudes in a 2-bedroom. One dude slept in his own room. Another guy in the hallway, another guy in the fridge or something. Another guy in the closet, another guy out the closet. That was my roommate. And this dude was an alcoholic, man. We got in a fight one day because he was coming home drunk all the time. He kept waking me up, and then I was fed up. 3 o'clock in the morning, he's drunk, coming in, talking on the phone. And I'm like, hey, man, take that outside. He throws his phone down. He's like, what you gonna do about it, man? Huh? What you gonna do about it? You ain't gonna do nothing about it. And I said, you don't wanna find out what I'm gonna do. He gets in my face, he's like, do something about it. And I was like 15 pounds bigger than I am now. I was jacked. And Jill went up the hill to get some more protein, baby. And I started choking this dude immediately, and I was squeezing his neck. And I remember him not fighting it. And I was like, that's kind of weird, because I'm squeezing hard. And I remember him not fighting it, and I remember him going, yes, daddy. And I was like, whoa, hey. I was like, you tricked me, man. This is not a reward. I'm angry right now. And so I stopped choking him. I threw him out the house like Jazzy Jeff from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I was like, West Philadelphia, born and raised. And I locked the door. He started banging on the door. Let me back in. I was like, psych, I am not letting you back in. The cops come to my apartment so fast. I was like, are we neighbors? Because I don't remember meeting you when I was looking for sugar. And I remember one of the cops walks over to my roommate, goes, hey, what's going on? And my roommate was like, I was sleeping. He woke me up, threw me outside. And I was like, he lied. Cop comes inside, goes, hey, so your boyfriend's saying that... I said, that's not my boyfriend. He's like, I don't care why y'all broke up. That's not my business. Trying to figure out why you threw him outside. I said, I threw him outside because he's clearly drunk. He came in and attacked me. I lied. Attacked me. So I put him outside. Cop goes, all right, goes back to my roommate and goes, hey, so your ex-boyfriend's saying that you attacked him first. And my roommate was like, what? He was choking me. Then the cop was like, I don't need to know about y'all sex life. Stop telling me your business. And I'm dying laughing. Not out loud, because I don't want to go to jail, so I'm doing the quiet laugh. You know what I mean? You know that quiet laugh where you like, right? You know that laugh where you're like, thank God my best friend ain't next to me to hit me with that one of them laughs, right? And I was doing a great job holding it in. I was like, calm down. And I remember the cop being fed up. He goes, listen, y'all could either make up or both of y'all go to jail. And my roommate was so drunk, he goes, well, I guess we going to jail. And I was like, no, we're not. I can't go to jail. I smile too much. I got a big booty. That's a bad combination. And I remember the cop, he came inside and he goes, he goes, all right, we're cutting this out. So he goes, he's saying he wants to go to jail. So if he wants to go to jail, I'm gonna arrest both of y'all. All right, you wanna maybe talk to him for a second? And I was like, yeah. Let me talk to him because he's mad right now and I'm not trying to go to jail. So let me talk to him. Babe! What do you mean jail? And I remember the cop closing the door. He goes, listen, y'all are clearly in an abusive relationship. All right? And I was like, I know he said he gonna change, but he never do. I can't do this, okay? I wasn't even gay at first. He comped on me. I didn't know that's how it works. And I remember, everyone woosah, we calmed down, we stopped by. And then the people downstairs, they heard us fighting. They were like, oh, no one's supposed to be in that apartment. So the people we were paying off of Craigslist, it wasn't their apartment complex, so we just giving someone money that wasn't their apartment. So they were like, you need to get out of here in 24 hours or you're going to jail for real. And so then I was homeless for real. And I wasn't like homeless. Some people are like, I'm homeless, but then they live in their car. Not me, I was homeless. And so I remember calling up my roommate from back in Florida, and I was like, hey, so, I got kicked out. So I'm gonna need you to, I need you to hold Tank for like maybe one more month. And then they were like, don't worry about it. We gave Tank to a shelter. I said, what? He goes, yeah, we gave Tank to a shelter. He was barking a lot. He wasn't supposed to be there. And then he bit somebody. So we gave him to a shelter. And I was like, well, why didn't you tell me? You should have told me before you gave my dog away. And they're like, you're homeless. What are you gonna do? That is kind of true though. I wanted to be mad, but like, how many times you see a homeless person with a dog? You never look at the dog like, man, that dog should have never dropped out of college. You never look at that. And I was like, I thought about it, and I was like, he's the cutest dog ever. I mean, ever. So he definitely got adopted. And I'm never gonna be homeless again, and it works out. So, but I do to that store, and people ask, it's sad, and people ask me all the time, they're like, hey, like, are you still sad about that? Yeah. Yeah, I'm sad. I'd be lying if I said I didn't cry some nights. I'm probably gonna cry tonight, if I'm being honest. I am. I know you're waiting on something funny, but I do want to just say, I'm gonna cry. So if anybody wants to lick my tears.